Good afternoon, class. We have seen sodium channel blocker, then calcium channel blocker, how it works to stop temporarily the transfer of nerve impulses from one cell to another cell, and how it results into the treatment of convulsions or seizures. Okay, so in case of sodium channel blocker or calcium channel blocker, what it does, they binds to the receptor, and after binding to the receptor they will perform their function of inhibition of or to decrease the activity of these one. Similarly, the next mechanism of anticonvulsant drug is to act on GABA receptor. Okay, so how they act on GABA receptor? Binds to GABA receptor, they will perform their function. But there are also some drugs, okay, which can act as anti-seizure or anticonvulsant other than binding to the receptor or without binding to the receptor. Okay, so in such diagram, just go through this diagram, you can come to know how the other drugs works. They are all these drugs, they are called as GABAergic drug, but they work by other mechanism other than binding to the receptor. Okay, now for example, any neurotransmitter, when it is synthesized or secreted, what happens? It undergo different types of phase, generally the three phases. One is the binding to the receptor to show the activity. Second one, they undergo metabolism. Third one, they undergo storage. But sometimes the neurotransmitter which comes into the synaptic cleft, they also experience another phase of these drugs, and that is reuptake. That is the uptake or reuptake of these neurotransmitter again into the neurons. Okay, so it can say that there are four phases of the neurotransmitter. That is the first one, that is binding to the receptor and show the activity. Second one, their metabolism. Third one, storage. Fourth one, that is the reuptake of these neurotransmitters. Okay, now what happens if we they bind to the receptor, they will show the activity. For the GABA includes the Cl minus channel. So we have to provide agonists which can act on GABA, which will increases the activity of GABA. Okay, that is the one part. That is the GABAergic drug. So the drugs like benzodiazepam, barbiturates, what it does, they bind to the GABA receptor and they facilitate the opening of these Cl minus channel, that is the frequency and time of their opening, so that more amount of Cl minus it can enter into the cell. Are you getting my point? When it enters into the cell, it may result into the hyperpolarization and they may remains in the polarization state, so that there is a resting state, so no transfer of nerve impulses. Okay, so that is one part where barbiturates benzodiazepam, they bind to the receptor. Next one, what we are seeing, they undergo metabolism, GABA. So we have to stop or we have to decrease the process of metabolism of GABA. So which enzyme is responsible for the metabolism of GABA? So the drug GABA T. The T indicates transaminase. So this GABA T is actually responsible for the metabolism of GABA. Where the metabolism of GABA takes place, the concentration of GABA decreases, which can bind to the receptor. Hence, what we have to do, we have to decrease the metabolism of GABA, so that less amount of GABA can undergo metabolism and more amount of GABA or their concentration will increase, so that they can bind to the receptor and they will perform their activity of opening of Cl minus. That is the second way. One, barbiturate benzodiazepam, what it does, they bind to the receptor, they will increase the timing and frequency of opening of Cl minus. Second one, they inhibit the metabolism. Third one, that is the third one is that the reuptake. So here GABA, it came into the this part, a bind to the receptor, then they will perform their activity. But some part of this, it again enters into the neurons. It is called as GABA reuptake. So this is performed by the transporter system that is called as GABA transporter. So if we inhibit the GABA transporter, then more amount of GABA will remain here and it can bind to the receptor. But again, we are giving the we are allowing them for the reuptake. So again, GABA undergo different